I'm unhappy. I don't feel like I'm making the kind of videos that I want to make. I want to make bigger videos. I want to make better videos. And I don't want to have to cut things out of my script because we don't have time to do it in a week. You know, there's a reason we make 15 to 20 minute videos, and that's because that is the maximum amount that Tyler and I can do from Monday to Friday. So we're done with that. Tyler and I are going to take as long as we need to make the best videos that we possibly can. I don't want to walk away from a video again feeling like I missed something, or have somebody in the comments bring up something that I really wanted to talk about and give me crap about it because, you know, I just didn't have time that week. So whether a video is going to be 20 minutes long or an hour and a half, we're going to be putting our absolute best into it. So think of 2021 as our junior album, right? Freshman album, you cement yourself. Sophomore album, you refine yourself. Junior album, you go out and you do something weird. And that's what we're doing this year in 2021. This is Claymore, Blame, Jujutsu Kaisen, Konosuba, Vinland Saga, Tenchi Muyo, Dorohedoro, Dororo, Dead Leaves, Ron Mahaf, is the Elder from Studio Trigger, Mononoke, Blood Sea, Monster, Arcane. This is Metropolis.
Let's get into it.
Well guys, we did what we said we were gonna do, but you know, new year, new video, new Bonsai Pop. And I just want you guys to know that this is a very important video, and I hope that you guys stick with me until the end. If you haven't seen the first volume of Punk Rock Cartoons, definitely check that out. I'll leave, you know, like a thing here, and it'll be in the description, and it'll be on the pinned comment. Also, both these videos are going to go into a playlist, and I'm sure there's gonna be more volumes of this coming forward. They're just really important videos. And also the first one is gonna give you a ton of context moving into volume 2, which you're watching now. Now, with that out of the way, what's going on? I'm Mike. Maybe you're new, maybe you haven't stopped by in a while, maybe you've just watched one of our videos, or maybe you've watched every single one of them, which I highly recommend, they're pretty good. But regardless, we're here to continue our discussion on anime, the idea of counterculture, and of course, our very own little channel. And you guys, I want to talk to you guys because you are the most important piece of this thing that is Bonsai Pop. So I'm very glad that you made it, thank you. So to start this off, you know, get you in the mood, let me give you a quote from Jello Biafra, singer of the Dead Kennedys. He said, "Punk's not dead, but it deserves to die when it becomes another stale cartoon." I hope you enjoyed my impression, but think on that at least while I introduce you to Anime's Punk Rock Cartoons, Volume 2. Let's get into it. 2021, guys, we made it through. At least, I assume we all made it through. Nobody said anything to the contrary. Either way, what a year. There's a lot of things that happened. But for us, it started out really well. We got a huge boost of support from PRC Volume 1, and then we proceeded to make good on our promise to make bigger, better videos. I mean, the 40-minute deep dives into some classics and some lesser known anime. Some of them I think were some of the best videos that we've ever put out. We even got to touch on some cutting edge stuff towards the latter end of the year, and that was really cool too. Making videos like that was really wild. It took so much reading and writing and consumption of the content in order to, you know, turn it around and spin it into my own take with my own thoughts and ideas and bias, obviously, on these pieces. But it was awesome. And we were definitely on the money, knowing that we were going to need time to be able to do these things. In fact, it took so much time that I have a huge backlog of stuff that we weren't able to get to this year, which is great. But also, you know, maybe it's not so great. Maybe not everything is so great. Obviously, I watch a lot of anime, I read a lot of manga, I even read light novels. I think there's like a word for people like that. I can't remember it. Anyway, I've noticed a trend, and I'm sure I'm not alone, but anime and the scene, for lack of a better term, has changed. And it's been a slow burn, but you know, I think it's very apparent now. To put it bluntly, like 99% of what comes out now kind of sucks. And sure, the leftover 1% is amazing. You get things like Odd Taxi, Chainsaw Man, Die Dark, and I'm sure a bunch of other underground things I haven't got my hands on. Let's be honest, guys. Anime ain't what it used to be. Think about it this way. If you gave every main character from, the top 40 list the same haircut and then took out place names, almost every single one of those shows would be completely interchangeable. You wouldn't be able to tell the difference between them. Essentially, it's bubblegum mainstream muff cabbage. And not only that, but with the Panini now on like a 2-year rampage, things are either being severely delayed or pushed out unfinished. Artists are being treated worse than ever. And I mean, don't get me wrong, anime has always been about making money to a certain degree. Just about everything is. It's, they got to promote the original source material and make sales. But anime studios are starting to look like, Activision Blizzard or like Ubisoft or something like that. It's a problem. It's mega corporate, super gross capitalism. Speaking of which, our last video, the one on Metropolis, the one about a movie, that revolves around a plutocracy and racism and classism, it lost us over 1,000 subscribers, which is great. Honestly, I'm not even being facetious. It's a very good thing. We did gain them back, of course, but I'll explain that all in a minute, because we got some really great advice on how to better run our channel. Let's check it out. So Sanctuary writes, I don't understand what is the point of view in deciding to attack your own viewership about vaccines. It's silly, and it's actually really ridiculous. People come to the analysis for the sake of comprehension and the remembrance of meaning, and you can have and maintain that without invective and vitriol spilling from your lips. I don't actually care in the long run. This isn't my YouTube channel, but you should wake up before the consequences of your actions mean something for your own detriment. If you have an opinion, express, but the childlike manner in which you are antagonizing the very people who have enjoyed your past material is idiotic in the extreme, or at least very short-sighted. Now, Howler Mouse says, by bending the film's message to your warped SJW views, you really wasted a great opportunity to celebrate a brilliant piece of art. The movie has socio-economical classes and heavy philosophical existentialism. You looked at a piece of art and it revealed more about you than the film. And Dalton W says, yeah, mixing politics and anime isn't exciting for anyone. I'll just take the anime, please. Which was echoed by Lord Voland when they said, anime, about social classes, conflicts, Pinocchio? There's no such thing as Pinocchio. I'm assuming you said Pinocchio. Pinocchio's problem, etc. Bonsai. It's about America. Rich guy number 1 is bad. Rich guy number 2 is good. If you have money, just give it to all. Just WTF. I don't want to listen about politics by naive weeaboo. I want to listen about anime. Thanks, guys. I'll make sure to take that all into consideration. I'm lying. Also, what the fuck are you even watching, dude? I've said it before, and I'll say it a million times. Art is inherently political. And yes, even things like Ariana Grande. Why? Because she goes for mass appeal. She goes for standard sex appeal. She makes radio-friendly hits and beats the common denominator to death. As a creator or a performer or whatever, that is a choice. It is taking a side. It's money over integrity, facade over genuinity, which is actually a word. I looked it up. Why do you think that people not that she's an artist, but why do you think people like Kylie Jenner do Coke commercials? You know what I mean? And look, I am absolutely no SJW. I have my own faction of SJW haters. Believe me, some of them are almost as bad as the Nazis. At least when it comes to the vitriol, just the vitriol, nobody's as bad as a Nazi. Come on. My point is that they're fucking awful. People say I'm either too woke or I'm not woke enough. And dude, do you know how much I sleep? Come on. Killing me. But look at me, all right? I am not a YouTuber. This is a YouTuber. I'm just a person trying to look through art with my own lens and then communicate it to the best of my ability. If you like it, that's awesome. And if you don't, just fuck off. Who cares? I'm not here to please you or specifically say what you want to hear. I do try to entertain, but what comes out of my mouth is how I feel. It's what I do. I'm gonna say what I want to say, how I want to say it, when I want to say it, the way I want to say it, and I will, yes, deal with the repercussions of that, but I have calculated that into the equation. Also, I'm not huge on the word woke, I don't really get what that means. I don't think I'm any more woke than I am a Democrat or a Republican. If you took any spectrum, right, you just drop a Z-axis and toss me off the ledge, it's usually where I am. Yeah, I'm a pro-choice, anti-Nazi, pro-equality, anti-classism individual who, leans a little bit towards loose democratic socialism, and thinks that people who are capable of being vaccinated that don't get vaccinated are scum. But that doesn't make me an SJW. That just makes me not an asshole and someone who thinks that human greed needs to be slightly checked. And that's the thing too, like I'm no communist. Like go get 5 houses, buy all the things that you want, but like, do you need $1 billion? No, nobody does. Anyway, that being said, notice please that we don't ask people to subscribe to the channel. Ever. We do not care at all how many subscribers that we have, and we never have. Going back to my comment earlier about, the 1,000 subs that we lost, people that were like, oh, you said a mean thing about the rich guys, so I'm gonna leave. That's like nothing. Honestly, we could probably stand to lose 100,000 subscribers and we'd be in a better place. When you think I'm kidding, look at the views on the video, dude. Where's the 200,000 plus subscribers, right? I mean, basically most of everybody's subscriber base is people that watch one video, hit subscribe, and never watched another one again. Now that's totally normal, it's fine, it's not insulting, we expect that, but the problem is that they bloat your channel and they confuse the YouTube algorithm. It's actually harmful to have a ton of subscribers, unless you're getting that exact amount of number of views per video, which if you want to look around, nobody does. So I say away with them. And that's why I'm fine just, saying however I feel and whatever I think, because, if it makes somebody mad and they don't subscribe, that's great. It was going to come down the road anyway, or if they are subscribed and leave, then that's also great. What we want is just people who like to watch all the videos. That's it. Everybody's got to tell me like, oh, I unsubscribe. It's like, dude, good. Thank you for doing that. Because what it comes down to is I'm not here to be famous. I'll never make a video on how I spent, $10,000 on garbage during like one of the biggest global economic crises simply to impress children. Like 95% of you guys are adults, somewhere within my age range, usually about, 5 to 10 years. I'm just here to connect with people who, like me, feel a little weird sometimes and think about everything way too much. Yes, I try to be socially conscious. I look out for people who have it worse than me, and I question people who have it better than me. But I ain't climbing a ladder next to get anywhere. I just want to be chill and comfy in my personal bag end and try and better the world where I can. But let's back up a little bit. I know I said that most things are about making money, but I feel like classic anime, the stuff that we generally talk about, it had kind of more of a feeling of freedom to it. Almost like people were just really able to make what they wanted rather than trying to find the newest way to isekai somebody. The stuff coming out of Japan in the 80s and 90s and even the early noughts, it was just wild. And it had this really rebellious feeling to it. I talked about that in the last video. And that's why I personally like to talk about this stuff. And yeah, there is a nostalgic edge to it, but it is not trendy. Dispater, I appreciate the Latin by the way, says, it's an absolute travesty that you only get sub 50,000 views in your videos. You deserve way more. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate that. But honestly, it's no travesty. It's to be expected. Nobody is looking up things like Metropolis in December of 2021, right? Not in the way that they're looking up like, Kim Kardashian's newest butt pic. We made the video because we wanted to, and we didn't expect to get 1 million views. It would have been nice if we did, but that's just not what Bonsai Pop is about. We aren't reaching out, if you know what I mean. We're more like dropping flyers on the sidewalk. Most people are going to step right over that flyer, but who knows? It might catch somebody's eye. We talk about the things that matter to us, and thankfully our core viewership, those things matter to them as well. And even if it doesn't, hopefully our core viewership can trust our consistency and know that the videos that we're making are good. And even if they're not necessarily interested in the subject matter, we might actually make them interested in that subject matter. In fact, many people have said that that is the case. And the other idea is that people who stumble upon the videos will check out our other videos and learn to trust our consistency. And if they like what they see, then, subscribe. That's why we don't ask people to subscribe. We don't want people to just like subscribe willy-nilly. Don't do it. It's funny, I was watching Shabes a while back, and he was talking about when we first kind of came onto the scene, and I guess the community as a whole was worried because, we came from Treesicle, which was a very big gaming channel that, did a lot of ads, and, I don't want to say that, Treesicle was like sellouts, but like, did a lot of Raid Shadow Legends, so. But I guess people were worried that we weren't going to, treat the community the way that it deserved to be treated. And he also said, that we have clearly proven ourselves, which is good, I guess, but I wasn't paying attention. I have no idea. I was like totally oblivious to that. I've just been, being me and doing my thing. But, you know, that's the other thing. Like we went so hard into it that we are not your intro YouTube channel. You know what I mean? We're not here to appeal to everyone, suck the fat cock of the algorithm. We are very specific. We are very tonal, and we will continue that way until we go broke. And, you know, despite Bonsai Pop being a DIY project, it's also a fuller than full-time job. Put out 2 hour podcasts every single week. We have movie parties with our Patreon every single week. You know, we put out multiple videos a month. We stream, we create merch. I buy manga now instead of stealing it because, you know, we basically live off of these people's work. It's the right thing to do. It takes money because in order to do this, we can't work a 9 to 5. But despite all the work, our strive for, you know, integrity and solidarity, we have lost quite a bit of support on Patreon. Obviously, the next question would be why, and it's very simple. We just haven't had the room to talk about it. If there's one thing that I know pretty well, it's how the internet mass works. In order to get somebody to look at something, you have to tell them and tell them and tell them and tell them. I mean, how many times have you tried to get your friend to watch an anime that you like? I mean, I'm pretty sure they probably haven't watched that anime yet. Now, try telling people to check out your Patreon, right? You have to do it every video. Well, last year we decided that we were going to make bigger videos less often. And then we also had some sponsorships in the beginning of the year, and then we had even more at the end of the year. Now, we're already making videos less often, which gives us less time to talk about the Patreon. But then when you add in some sponsorship slots, that takes away even more time that we used to have to talk about the Patreon. And Patreon works just like YouTube. You have a certain amount of burn. Last video, like I said, we lost 1,000 people because I pissed them off, but then we gained them back. Well, you lose people in Patreon too. You know, they can't afford it. They got to cut down their budget, etc., etc. But unless you're constantly talking about it, like we're always regularly putting out videos, there's nobody that's coming in to fill those spaces that have opened up. So there's always a burn and a gain, but you have to put in the time and you have to give it the attention to get the gain. And there's another problem, and that's that people want more content, which, you know, honestly it's a good problem to have. That means that people like what you're doing, but we can't do it right now. Me and Tyler are stretched to our limit just doing these 2 videos a month. I mean, we seriously barely make money on YouTube, and we have dropped quite a bit of Patreon support. Like we're now a little bit under our safety net. Everything we make gets split in 2. So, you know, if you see anything anywhere, just divide that by half. It's honestly why we had to take on as many sponsors as we did at the end of the year. But we're done with that, dude. Like, I don't want to be doing that anymore. It's make it or break it time. And it's really all going to go into your hands. We want what you guys want. We want to make more content, but we can't do it alone. We need editors, and we do have a few lined up, and we have, you know, had somebody come in and help before, but those editors need to be paid, and they need to be paid well because they are professionals and they are doing good work. And our minimum that we are willing to pay people is $15 for a minute of video. I would like to pay people $17. That's a good wage because people can do more than 1 minute in an hour, assuming that they're really good and that they're professionals. But this is professional work. This is a learned skill. You know, people do deserve to be paid what they're worth. So say we hired somebody to do a 20-minute video, right? That's $300, and we're looking to do that at least twice a month. So, you know, that's $600 a month. We just don't have that right now. We don't even really have enough for us. But we need to get our Patreon up substantially in order to do that, because right now we're not even necessarily in me and Tyler's safe zone. Now, we have worked very hard since the very beginning of the channel to make the Patreon like a family, and that's not hyperbole. I'm being super real. Like, we visited and hung out with some of our patron supporters, and like, we're not talking like, you know, $200 supporters. We've supported their small businesses. We've shared their art. We've hung out in their streams. We play video games with them. We have movie parties every single week. We give them their very own special podcast. We do special sit down, you know, chat streams with them where we talk about the channel and what they want, what they're interested in. And a lot of the times, the movie parties are movies that they have picked. The Patreon is 90% of Bonsai Pop. If all you're doing is watching the videos, you're only seeing the tip of the iceberg. So help us, help you, help us, help you. We have covered 89 different anime in less than 3 years. That's 89 movies or shows that we've either introduced people to or brought back into people's consciousness. And there is so much more content to be created on each one of those shows. I've been dying to do Saint Seiya again, more Gundam, more Inuyasha, more Yu Yu Hakusho, more Rurouni Kenshin, all those things. I would love to do another video on Cowboy Bebop, but like, you know, just those, if we're doing one of those every 2 weeks, I just mapped out half our year, and then we're not covering anything new. See what I'm saying? And we want to stay mostly sponsor free. There's always going to be some kind of cool company that comes along, like Figurama Collectors, but it looks like, you know, our work with them might be done because Casey left the company, you know. So love you, dude. Thank you so much for working with us. Like, you're an awesome guy. You will be sorely missed. But for the most part, it's me, you, and the Patreon, and, you know, G Fuel. But that's, you know, that's a partnership. That's different. Drink G Fuel hydration formula. But yeah, we'll see how this goes. You know, like, I don't like asking people for like money for me. You know what I mean? Like, we did the charity for Chicago. That was great. You guys were awesome. Thank you so much. You know, I put out the GoFundMe for my aunt. She, by the way, survived. She's in rehab, but she's not allowed to have any visitors because of, you know, said panini. So that's still an ongoing thing. But thank you to everybody who supported that. Like, that's super cool. But yeah, you know, moving forward, like, we need help. We need more people, fresh blood in the Patreon, so we can make more videos, guys. Dude, it's gonna be like, I'm so excited to be able to write something, voice it, and hand it over to somebody that I trust to do a great job, who knows how we work and everything like that, and they can put out a great video. You know, even signing up for a single month, even if you have to do it at like a lesser amount than our low tier, like $1 is worth 600 views. I mean, that's more views than you will probably ever have time to actually like give us, you know what I mean? But otherwise, you know, the channel will die. Because I'm not playing YouTube. I'm not doing top 10s. I'm not covering trendy anime twice a week with 10-minute videos so I can get a mid-roll ad in there, and, you know, just with no substance. I would rather watch my baby die than it turn into a monster. It's just not how I do things. We will continue until we can't, and then shut it down. So thank you for another year. Thank you for being excellent and awesome individuals, and hopefully you will help us bring you more punk rock cartoons. And hopefully, you know, if miracles happen, we'll see you in the Discord. My name is Mike. This is Bonsai Pop. Thanks so much for watching. We will be back in February. This is our January time to spend with the patrons and to, you know, like, fuel up for the coming year. So yeah, we'll see you in February, and I just appreciate you. Bye.